Oh boy. I think I'm live. Hey humans, give me just a second. I have to do a thing. I gotta fix something before I even begin to talk here. I'm talking, I don't know why I just said that. Before I begin to talk on the subject is what I mean. Blah. Where is the... There we go. That's what I need. Ignore all the clicky noises. Sorry if they're annoying. Oops. Just knocked over my drinks. That's good. Don't worry, they're not open yet. Wow. I'll get better at this. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. At least one this complex. And by complex, I mean like using software instead of just, stuffing a web camera in front of my face and talking. That's how I used to do it more often. But let's see. I wanted it to look slightly prettier this time. Rainbows and stuff. I almost actually just filmed this instead because I tend to say and have dead air a lot and all that lovely crap, and I go off topic. That's fun. It's ADHD. See, there I go. But I wanted to just have like a conversation, and like I said, I wanted the rainbows there. And also, like, usually for National Coming Out Day, I will either do a stream or upload a video. I think last year I uploaded a video, so, and the year before that I did a stream. So I think it's a stream's turn, if that makes any sense. Where the heck is the rainbow? Looking for that darn rainbow emoji. There we go. Is that enough rainbows? Yeah, that's enough rainbows. You can never have enough rainbows, really. Let's see. Okay, well, apparently you can't. Let me see here. Poop. Sorry, it's so boring so far. I hope you're all doing well. So there's that. Like I said, it's been a minute. Okay. There we go. All right. I hope this darn thing is working. It might not be working. Blech. It's super late, too. I always pick a really late freaking time of night to do these things. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, I procrastinate until the very end of the day whenever there's something I want to talk about. Yeah. So let's talk. Today is National Coming Out Day. And you're probably like, dude, you've come out as like every letter in the LGBTQI or whatever rainbow. What else could you possibly have to come out as? Like, seriously, what are you, like, some new gender that didn't exist before? No. Actually, I'm still non-binary transmasculine. I'm still demi-andro-romantic. I'm still asexual. And, yeah, I mean, I'm, Still doing the testosterone thing. Still using the he, him, although I also am okay with they, them. Decked out in all kinds of rainbow crap because I feel like it's appropriate. This is left over from me going out earlier. I was using it as a face covering. But you know, it's kind of gay, so I left it. It's fine. This shirt says, oops, when someone attacks one party member, we all roll for initiative. I am not a D&D player, but that's what this shirt is from. The person who sent it to me plays D&D and is really into it, and they thought I might like this shirt. I actually do like this shirt. It's really cool. This is the I think that's a 20-sided die that they use. It's got like a rainbow. Hold on. It's got like a rainbow fist in the middle. It's pretty cool. I like it. My friend who sent this to me wants me to get into D&D, and I might have to try. Oops, hold on. Hat's like being weird. Yeah, so let's talk about why I'm on here. What else could I possibly have to come out as? So, I've been going through like a lot of medical stuff lately, both physical and, you know, psych stuff, and, you know, been seeing a lot of doctors. The physical stuff we're not going to talk about because that's really stressful, and, like, honestly, I'm going through it over here. I am so, like, exhausted and disheartened, when it comes to that stuff. Like, I'm just having a hard time. Oops. Hold on. I gotta turn off my stupid phone. It's yelling at me. Of course it is. Yikes. Okay. Sorry. I totally forgot that my stupid phone was gonna yell at me. I have lots of alarms set for various things because my memory sucks. Yeah, but I mean, it's always kind of sucked. This is not a new thing. Like, if I don't have an alarm set for every freaking thing, appointments, medicine, all that jazz, I ain't gonna remember it. It's not gonna happen. Okay, now let me just rearrange my pillows here and get comfy, so we're gonna have a little conversation. Okay. Oof. Need my super gay rainbow blanket back on. Okay, so where was I? I'm not even sure why I have these earbuds in, to be honest. Like, I don't anticipate playing anything that has sound or anything like that, so I don't know. It's just force of habit, I guess. Oh, good. There are actually people here. Hi. Yeah, my lips are dry. Excuse me. I'm gonna do some LaCroix ASMR here. This is the hibiscus flavor. Ooh, it's delicious. If you don't like LaCroix, you know, I can't blame you. I mean, like, it tastes like whatever flavor it is, but it tastes like it's adjacent to whatever flavor it's trying to be. There we go. It helps me drink water, so I just drink it. Anyway, right. So, like I was saying, I have been going through, like, a lot of medical crap. Like, tons of appointments, tons of everything. And, you know, ow, God. It's been rough. But some things have been positive. Like, for instance, recently, I finally got a little piece of the puzzle, as far as my psych stuff goes, as far as my psychological health goes. So, you know, for as long as I can remember, I felt like there was something up with me. Like, I don't want to say off, because that sounds kind of mean to myself, but I mean, that's kind of how it is. I felt like there was something off about me that was, like, just different than everybody else. I just couldn't understand people in certain ways. Like, certain social stuff didn't make sense to me. And I just felt like constantly awkward. When I was in my early 20s, I finally got to investigate this a little bit more because, I was an adult. I was in charge of my own mental health at that point. Because being raised at JW, it's far less likely that your family is going to be like, yeah, let's take you to a psychiatrist so they can tell you all the stuff that's wrong with you and tell you that it's my fault. At least that's how my family was. They took me to psychiatrists very occasionally, and only when it was like very dire and possibly inconvenient to them, like if they thought that they would get in trouble for not taking me to a psychiatrist, that kind of situation. But other than that, like if I had asked them, hey, I need to go see a psychiatrist because I feel weird, I feel like a weird person, they would have just been like, well, you are weird, so, that's just the way Jehovah made you. Tough crap, deal with it. Pray on it. Leave it in Jehovah's hands, that kind of freaking deal. Anyway, so yeah, in my 20s, I went to a psych. The psych was like, oh, you have ADHD. And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I feel like I've definitely got the symptoms and all that, and I struggle with those kinds of issues. But still, still beyond that, I felt like there was something else that, ADHD, an ADHD diagnosis didn't quite cover. Because I've met lots of people with ADHD, like even what I would consider worse ADHD than me. And, I don't like to really quantify it like that. I don't like to do that because I feel like it's not a contest or anything like that. And I don't want to, I don't want to invalidate people and stuff like that. So, putting a quantity on it is not something I usually do. But I'm saying, like, I've met lots of people all across the spectrum of people who have ADHD, and I still felt a little different than, like, the majority of them. There was something I couldn't quite put my finger on. And, yeah, I mean, because I've had people tell me throughout my life that I'm either way too sensitive or very insensitive, like that I'm rude when I don't even mean to be. So I'm just like, what am I? Am I sensitive or am I not sensitive? Something's up with me. Like, I just don't understand people. And it was later on, like actually pretty recently, the past year or so. Well, it's been longer than that now. I want to say maybe like the past couple of years that I started to see doctors again. Not exactly by choice in some cases, but I had seen doctors, and they suggested to me the possibility. At first, they suggested that I might have, something like autism spectrum disorder, or just maybe even a sensory processing disorder. And I was like, all right, maybe I do. And then I did eventually see a doctor who said, yeah, you have ASD, like, you do. And I was like, oh. Now, they didn't give me a test or anything, so I wasn't sure they could just tell me that and then that's just the case, because I'd heard you had to get tested for that. But, regardless, I started to slowly, self-identify as having ASD, in certain spaces where I felt safe to do so. And, over time I was like, yeah, self-identification is valid, because it is. Not everybody has access to the resources that you may need in order to get tested. I mean, testing is expensive as hell. I know that the testing I had was expensive as hell. Yeah, super not cheap. Even if you have insurance, it's still probably not going to be cheap. And some insurance doesn't even cover it, so there's that. And not only that, but you got to find a place to get tested, and usually those places have huge waiting lists. I don't know what's up with that. I guess a lot of people must have some stuff they need to get tested for. So yeah, the resources are, they're hard to come by, and even if you can come by them, it's still a process. Like especially if you actually do have ASD, it's not fun to go through the testing because you have to do a lot of it, face to face, and there's a lot of stuff, sensory processing type issues, at least that I ran into while getting tested. We'll talk more about that later, though. So yeah, I decided that after a while, for my own personal benefit, I thought, maybe I should get tested. And not just for ASD, but just to get tested in general to see what else might be going on that you can actually get tested for. There is stuff that you can't get tested for, like there's no test for dissociative identity disorder, and I'll mention that again later. But I wanted to see if, I wanted a more of a clear picture of what I was dealing with. And yeah, so I decided that even though the testing that is developed for ASD is really more, it's more catered to people who are assigned male at birth, I still wanted to give it a shot. I still wanted to see what was going on. So that leads me to this past month or so. I did finally get scheduled for testing, and it was very intensive. It was 3 separate testing days over the course of, I think it was 1 test per week, and it was several hours long each day that I did testing. Yeah, very intensive. Like, the first day alone was just pure paperwork and computer testing, and that was a lot. Like, on some of the tests, it was like screwing with me in sensory ways. In fact, the testing that was happening in the room next to me was like screwing with me. Like, I could hear all the crap that they were doing, and I couldn't focus on what I was trying to test on. The testing on the computer screen, some of it was too bright. Even when I turned down the brightness on the screen, I wear sunglasses pretty much everywhere. Like, there are very few instances where I feel comfortable not wearing sunglasses because stuff hurts my eyes. It's too bright. And even though I was wearing sunglasses and I lowered the brightness on the screen, it hurt. And I got frustrated and actually may or may not have thrown some things. I threw the clicker at the damn screen. I'm not proud of that, but I got really frustrated. Like, I was just like, it was unbearable. I couldn't focus, and I couldn't, like, it was like too much crap was happening at once. Anyway, right. So I did all of that, and about a week after the final test, which was just a few days ago, I got my results. It was on Thursday that I got my results. Turns out, yeah, I have ASD. I am on the autism spectrum. Now, some of you that are watching this that have been watching me or known me for a while, some of you are like, yeah, no shit. Could have told you that. And then some of you who have been watching me for a while or who know me might actually be kind of surprised. Like, I didn't think you were autistic. I didn't see any of that in you. You don't seem like it. I never noticed anything that made you seem like you were. But yeah, I mean, that's going to be the case. Like, some people, to some people it's obvious, to some people not so much. Part of that depends on really how well I know you and how comfortable I am around you, I guess. Because if I'm more comfortable around you, it's probably more obvious. Because that means I probably spend more time with you and probably, let my mask down a little bit more in front of you. Yeah. So also, like I said, they were testing me for pretty much, I guess, whatever. It was like a kind of a catch-all thing. I retested as being diagnosed again, like for the third or fourth time in my life with ADHD, so I definitely have that. Whatever it means, the combined version, I'm not really sure what that means yet. I'll have to look into that, but I have ADHD. I still have a dissociative disorder. Because they can't really test for DID, I'm going to have to go and do some separate sessions for that, to get another confirmation on that, even though I've already been diagnosed with that too. But they felt comfortable at least, putting dissociative disorder on there. I have PTSD. Social anxiety, that's obvious though. I can't remember the other crap, but really the thing that I was coming out with today was the ASD, because it explains a lot. It explains a lot. Yeah. It kind of finally confirmed for me that, yeah, okay, something was up the whole time. I actually talked to my uncle before I got tested, and I was asking him stuff about my childhood. And he told me, that I never smiled as a baby, that I was, I looked pretty depressed or serious, or that I was really kind of into my own stuff. I like doing my experiments and stuff like that, that I was not social. And that all kind of adds up. He's pretty much the only one I can ask about how I was when I was a child. I can't really go and ask my JW family. And my grandma was probably the one who was around me the most, other than my mom, who unfortunately passed away when I was 17, so I can't ask her either. And I think my grandma would probably not want to talk to me right now anyway, for various reasons. So I can't ask her, like I said. But I feel like she'd probably either confirm to me that that stuff is right, that my uncle said, or she would not remember, or she would just deny that anything was wrong with me. Like, growing up, that's kind of how it was. She would just write things off as quirks, or she would or she would deny that anything was really wrong with me when I thought there was something wrong with me. Now, I really shouldn't say that ASD is something wrong with me or with anyone else. It's more of a processing type of thing. Like, we just have a different way of processing things, a different way of viewing and experiencing the world. It's not necessarily a bad thing, I don't think. It's kind of like somebody else that I was watching on YouTube says that it's not so much that we're disabled, it's more that certain situations in the world are disabling to us. Like, for instance, I do fine functioning, by myself in low lighting. Unfortunately, I don't have low lighting right now, but that's mostly so you can see me, because it's very dark otherwise in the room. Yeah, that's by design. I like my room dark. I can't even sleep if there's like a little bit of light in the room. It's really awful. And lately I have been sleeping with a very low light in the room, but that's because I'm terrified of scorpions. That's for another video. Not that it's actually going to keep the scorpions out of here, but it's a ritual that I have, because it comforts me into thinking the scorpions aren't going to come in here. Even though they still have. I just caught a baby scorpion the other day. It was bad. Right. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm so boring. Yeah, so that reminds me, like, at the beginning of this channel, or the beginning of my activism years on this channel anyway, I remember I was doing a video talking about, I think it was talking about how my brother turned my mother's death into a Jehovah's Witness, like, advertisement, sort of. This was pre-transition and everything, so a while back. And somebody commented asking me if there was something wrong with me because I couldn't stay on subject. And I kept, I was just having a hard time talking. And yeah, I think I commented that, yeah, I have ADHD. So it is kind of hard for me to stay on topic. And it turns out I also have ASD, which further complicates things in various nuanced ways. So why am I talking about this, the fact that I have ASD? And I just figured this out at age 33, which is surprisingly common for people assigned female at birth. It's actually common because, like I said earlier, the testing is more modeled after what they would expect in assigned male at birth people's behaviors and interactions and stuff. So it's pretty common for it to be missed earlier in life if you're assigned female at birth. Because a lot of the behaviors, even though they might be similar, in some cases, in most cases it seems to be that the ASD presents differently in people who are assigned female at birth and who are socialized as being female. Right, so why am I talking about this? On National Coming Out Day, which is supposed to be reserved for LGBT stuff, LGBTQIA+. Why? Well, because I will show you, actually. Let's go over here and check it out. There we go. Right. Whoops. So, the reason that I am talking about this today is because blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you are probably more likely to be on the LGBT, or in the LGBT community, if you have autism, or if you are autistic, I should say. Some people prefer the people first language of, this person has autism, and some people, most people it seems like, prefer the, the identity type language, I'm autistic, that type of thing. Anyway, that's a side note. Yeah, so these two things are kind of related, and I just wanted to talk about that intersection. So it says here, individuals on the autism spectrum tend to be less influenced by or responsive to societal expectations or constraints. In many ways, this individuality and marching to a different drummer leads to greater challenges fitting in socially and in the workplace. In other ways, this outside-of-the-box thinking and behavior leads those on the spectrum to become some of our greatest thinkers, innovators, and creators. This natural inclination to be oneself and not follow the crowd or societal norms seems to correlate with a higher-than-average incidence of individuals on the spectrum having greater variance and flexibility in the areas of sexual orientation and gender identity and expression. Many on the autism spectrum do not subscribe to the prevailing binary definitions. Hey, what do you know? That sounds like me. Sexual orientation, to whom one is attracted. While many with Asperger, I think it's Asperger. Somebody correct me, I don't know. I think I've seen it both ways, actually, Asperger and Asperger. I'm going to go with Asperger because it sounds funnier. I know some people are offended by that, sorry. While many with Asperger/autism, which by the way, Asperger is actually an outdated term, they've kind of absorbed that into it's been absorbed into the ASD diagnosis. So I'm just going to say that. While many with ASD firmly identify as heterosexual, others firmly identify as gay, lesbian, or bisexual, or in my case, asexual, and demi-androromantic. And maybe I'll explain what demi-androromantic is sometime. Still, others may be more flexible regarding whom they are attracted to. I think that should be regarding to whom they are attracted, but whatever. Being sexually attracted to an individual for who they are as a person, regardless of the other person's biological gender, gender identity, or gender expression. Others with ASD may identify as asexual or aromantic in higher numbers than in the general population. Well, I'll be damned. Me. Let's see. Gender identity. How one thinks of oneself with regard to gender. Man, woman, transgender, any number of non-binary descriptors, genderqueer, gender fluid. Yeah. Societal messages around gender run very deep, from the pink and blue clothing and room decor bestowed upon expectant parents who found out what they're having, to the "it's a girl, it's a boy" balloons waving outside newborn homes, to gendered toys, to public bathrooms, and apparently to blowing up California and setting it on fire because you want to celebrate what genitals your kid has. What's wrong with you? Anyway, this gender assigned at birth is determined by external genitalia, and for the vast majority aligns with gender identity and expression. This is called being cisgender. Those with ASD may be less susceptible to buying into the prevailing binary gender identities, and instead more readily identify or know that they are non-binary or transgender. And just for clarity, you can be trans and non-binary, or not trans, but non-binary. Yeah. Knowledge that one is the opposite of the gender assigned at birth, or something entirely outside of that. Male to female, female to male, that's me. Less constrained by the strong societal messages, and more inclined to be oneself. Individuals with ASD may more readily identify as transgender than their non-autistic counterparts, who may be more susceptible to strong societal messages about remaining their gender assigned at birth. Or that should say identifying with their gender assigned at birth. Anyway, whatever. Language disagreements. Hold on, I gotta open this up. This is really good, y'all. This is, hold on. I'm gonna make sure you can actually see it before I show it. This is cream soda. It's Dr. Pepper cream soda. This here is the Shiznitobam Snip Snap Sack right here. Good shit. I love it. Oh yeah, baby. Oop, oh, nope, don't explode now. Don't you explode. You stay in there. Okay. Good soda. Good soda. Alright. Yeah, I'm weird. I'm sorry. I need some of this in my life. I need caffeine right now. By the way, people with ADHD are more likely to have a higher caffeine and sugar intake than, people that are neurotypical. Or people who just don't have ADHD. Because you could be neurodivergent and not have ADHD. God, this shit is good. Alright, I'm sorry. Let's get back to it. Right. But they're autistic. How could they know if they're gay or transgender? Oh, wait. I didn't even skip... Did I skip that? Son of a bitch. I skipped a whole paragraph. Hold on. Gender expression. Gender expressed by an individual's outward appearance and perceived by others. For many on the autism spectrum, outward presentation of gender may have more to do with sensory issues than identification with accepted expressions of masculinity or femininity. Dressing for comfort rather than style or fashion, having hygiene practices that don't match the prevailing societal expectations. Excuse me again. Damn Dr. Pepper. That don't match the prevailing societal expectations may lead to erroneous assumptions about one's gender and or sexual orientation. Right, so this is something I always used to tell my grandma, because she used to get really mad at me for not wearing dresses all the time. Yeah, she would be like, why don't you wear more dresses? Why don't you wear more skirts? You would look so pretty if you wore a dress or a skirt. And, at the time, not even realizing I was trans or anything like that, not quite yet, I would tell her, like, the truth, I dress for what's comfortable for me. I dress to feel good and comfortable. I don't care what I look like, that's like the last thing I'm worried about is how I look. It just didn't, I guess it just didn't register for me, like, why it's important to some people to dress a certain way, to look nice or whatever, or to follow a fashion trend, or to attract a partner or something like that. I didn't get that. Not even the whole accentuating certain features thing. I like to dress because it feels good. In fact, the pants I'm wearing right now, oh my god, the pants I'm wearing right now, they are so comfortable. I just got these pants. They are the best pants in the freaking world. I love them. I adore these pants. Yeah, I know, I'm gushing over a pair of pants, but but stay with me here. They're really good. I like that they're so soft, and that's the same reason I love this blanket. It's really soft. It's like my favorite blanket ever. I like my shirts to be massive because I like a lot of room in them. I don't like things that are super tight on me. So binding is fun. I can only put up with that because of, the fact that it makes me feel more comfortable in the way that I appear more like myself. So technically I'm still wearing it for comfort, even though tight stuff usually makes me uncomfortable. My socks, I don't like having, super long socks, unless it's for a particular, outfit for comfort reasons. Again, I like to have long socks for certain outfits, but in general, I like these guys. I like the ones that are only at the, right below or at the ankle, because the other ones feel too tight and constricting? I don't know. But I don't like them. And I like my socks to be very cushy, too. I don't know if you're noticing a theme here. I like soft and cushy things. But yeah. And I like my pants not to be tight either, obviously. Nothing tight. Tightness is bad. My hat's not tight either. There's a lot of room in my hat. Because my hair hurts. If I have it pressed on in a certain way, even if I'm lying down on a pillow, if my hair is mashed in a certain way, it hurts. That's weird, right? It even used to hurt when my grandma would be combing my hair, just combing it. Or if she would be trying to braid my hair. I was I hated that crap. So yeah, styling my hair wasn't a thing I liked doing either, for the same reason. Comfort. I rarely did anything to my hair unless I felt really pressured to do something, and this was more in adulthood. And my family was the one who styled my hair when I was younger. I freaking hated that, though. Especially the time they did a perm on me. That was a disastrous nightmare. Anyway, back to the thing. Yeah, I had friends who are autistic who don't see the need for showering, unless they're leaving the house. And, that's fine. I don't see anything wrong with that, And I tend to shower fairly frequently, like at least once a day, and that's more of an OCD, like germaphobe type thing. I don't want to be covered in grossness. Yeah. But, some people shower very infrequently. And actually, some people shower infrequently on purpose. Neurotypical people do this apparently to apparently to maintain the oils in their hair, because if they disturb the balance of oils in their hair, it can make it look like crap, or like your hair will respond by making too much oil if you do it too frequently, and you'll end up with like really greasy hair. It's weird. The body is freaking cursed. Anyway, back to this. Still, others may wish to present as cisgender, gender expression matching sex assigned at birth, while others on the spectrum may choose and be most comfortable presenting outwardly as a gender not matching their biological sex. That'd be me. Ding, ding, ding. Now, here we go. This is what I accidentally said earlier. But they're autistic. How could they possibly know if they're gay or transgender? Because someone is diagnosed with an autism spectrum condition does not mean that person is less capable of determining their own sexual orientation or gender identity. It is more likely that family members or professionals will question their identification with these non-mainstream identities because of the autism profile and out of concern that their loved one will be part of yet another marginalized, vulnerable group. Someone perceived as autistic may be questioned... Oh, sorry. Yeah. Wait, did I read that right? Yeah, someone perceived as autistic may be questioned more by professionals or family members who wonder, is my client or family member choosing an alternative sexual orientation or gender identity because they want to find a reason for their difference that is not autism, or because they are more accepted by these non-mainstream groups? For some individuals, autistic and not, sexual orientation and gender identity and expression may fluctuate over the course of one's lifetime. They may be more flexible or fluid. This fluidity, particularly in these areas, is often difficult for others to accept and may again be ascribed to the autism and may lead to an individual not being believed. Boy, oh boy, have I experienced some of that. Anyway, let's go back to this other paragraph up here where it was saying that the family member or client or the doctor would be like, are they choosing a sexual orientation because they want to find a reason for their difference that isn't autism, or because they're more accepted by these non-mainstream groups? Right. So, first of all, I want to say that being LGBT is technically more mainstream than people might think. I mean, I honestly believe that there are a lot more LGBT folks out there than we even still realize, even though it's being more accepted lately. Like, I still think there are way more than we realize. And as far as the wanting to find a reason for their difference that isn't autism, I didn't even think that autism was on the table as far as a reason goes when I was younger, because I had a more generalized, more mainstream type of idea of what autism even was up until very recently. Like, I thought, if you're autistic, it would be very obvious, that's what I thought. And I was wrong. I was so wrong. And now that I've had a lot more education on that, I can actually see it much more clearly where I wasn't able to before. Like, it seems like in people that I know are diagnosed with ASD, but I used to think like they don't really seem to have ASD. Like, I recognize it now. And it's funny because I actually tend to gravitate more toward people with ASD, like I have all my life. A lot of my friends even some of my family members, are diagnosed with ADHD, or ADHD. Well, some of them, yeah, are diagnosed with ASD and ADHD, actually. But yeah, and I think now it makes sense why. Like, yeah, because interestingly enough, studies have been done on how people with ASD communicate, and it was found out that it's not so much that they can't. It's not so much that they can't communicate. It's more that they have a hard time communicating with neurotypical people. I mean, that should make sense. That should be pretty obvious. So yeah, they put a bunch of autistic people together in a room, and they communicated just fine with each other. They had no issues. And then they put a bunch of neurotypical people in the room with a bunch of autistic people, and then there was a problem. So, I mean, neurotypical people can communicate well enough with each other. Autistic people can communicate well enough with each other. It's just when you try to mix the two that there, tends to be some kind of a little hiccup. And it's because autistic people communicate differently than neurotypical people do. Like I was saying in the beginning of this stream, I had a hard time understanding people, and social conventions and conversations were difficult for me, especially the back and forth stuff. And when I got my ADHD diagnosis, I thought that was because of the ADHD, but it turns out it probably also has to do with the ASD. Like, I have a hard time being able to tell when it's my turn to speak in a conversation. And then I also have a hard time with, like, when it is my turn to speak, like, what am I supposed to say? Like, what do these people expect me to say? And, like, actually, I have a lot of trouble with the kind of behavior that people expect of me in general. Like, I don't know what people expect of me. Even at age 33, I still struggle with that. Over time, I have learned how to mask pretty well, and I didn't realize that's what I was doing until, like I said, more recently when I learned about all this stuff. Actually, Lisa, I think she used to go by Lisa Bug, or still goes by Lisa Bug, I don't know, on YouTube here, pointed out masking back in my live stream about activism and mental health. I think it might have been called Mental Health and Activism, actually. I don't remember. But she pointed out masking. She said that that's what I was doing, and I said, oh, masking, I've never heard of that, and I should look into that. And I did eventually look into it, and, well, what do you know? I've been masking. It kind of made me feel a little bad, because I felt like, am I being fake to people when I try to communicate with them, in public and stuff? And it's sort of, but not really. Masking is more of a survival thing than it is about being fake or anything like that. It's a way for you to bridge the gap between yourself and a neurotypical person so that you can communicate effectively, or at least try. Kind of helps keep people from knowing that you might have something going on too. I'm afraid of people knowing that I have certain conditions, especially now with the ASD. I'm a little worried about that because people with ASD, and this isn't the case for everybody, but oftentimes people with ASD will be more susceptible to to being taken advantage of. Sometimes we're a little bit more gullible than, neurotypicals. And because we don't understand what's expected of us in certain situations, this can lead to us being put in really dangerous situations. Like, I've been, not to be triggering here, trigger warning, I'm going to mention some triggery stuff. I've been sexually assaulted in a bunch of situations where now I realize that's in part because I have ASD, and I didn't realize what was going to happen before it happened. You know, I didn't pick up on the, on the signals, on the things that, could have possibly prevented me from ending up in that situation each of those times. So yeah, right. Back to what I was talking about earlier, the other thing. So, yeah, I did feel more accepted by the LGBT community, especially more than the more than the XJW community. No offense, guys. I think that's just because a lot of people in the XJW community, not all of them come out immediately like different or accepting of everything. Some of them come out and they're still a little more on the, cautious or conservative side, and it might take them a little more time to open up to the idea that there's a lot of different types of people out there. So, no shade to them or anything. I get it. It's a process coming out of a cult. But then there are the other spectrum of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses that are like super open to everything and end up getting hurt because they leave themselves vulnerable to stuff. I'm not trying to victim blame or anything, but like, yeah, it can be bad. I have a lot of friends that I know personally have gone through a lot of really bad things because, they were very open and accepting and trusting initially when they came into the community. Anyway, right, so, yeah, like I said, I didn't even know autism was a thing on the table as far as an explanation for why I'm, different. And so I didn't seek out, being trans or asexual or gay or anything like that as a reason to explain why I was different. Even after I started transitioning, I did feel better presenting more as myself, but I still noticed, yeah, I'm still a little weird. And I shouldn't call myself weird because I have ASD. That's not kind to myself, but what I mean when I say that is that, I still felt different. I still felt like I didn't quite fit in with society. I didn't quite get everybody. And, I know neurotypical people go through that too. They're like, I don't get people. But this was on a whole other level of I don't get people. Plus, I had a lot of sensory stuff that didn't make sense, having to do with trans or gay or anything like that, or asexual. Like I said, I wear sunglasses pretty much everywhere. Like, when I'm at home and I have the lights nice and dim or off entirely, which I prefer, I don't really need sunglasses, unless I'm looking at a really bright screen. I have most of my apps and stuff on dark mode if I can have a dark mode. Like YouTube, I have on dark mode. I can't go into a grocery store without sunglasses and also these guys. I can't. It drives me nuts. I can't do it. There's too many noises. There's too much going on. And I used to just try to go in there without sunglasses and stuff anyway, back before I want to say the last few years, because I didn't want people thinking I was a douche or that I was like on drugs or something. So, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna not, because I figured it would draw more attention to myself that I didn't want. I still would put on the earbuds and just, like play some music or something that I enjoy, or honestly, a lot of the times I didn't even have anything playing. But yeah, I don't like the store noises, the people, the cart noises, the squeakies. I didn't like the I don't like the little beeps of the cash registers. I don't like all the rustling of all the products. I hate all that crap. It drives me insane. And it makes me want to run out of the freaking store. So, in order to be able to shop and not have my hair pulled out one by one, I just wear the earbuds. And I stopped caring about what people would think of my sunglasses. And, you know, I realized that most people don't even notice, and anybody who does, they, like, stop caring after, like, 2 seconds. So that's cool. Oh, hey, Stacy. I love you, too. So, yeah, coming out as having ASD, and wanted to talk about how it relates to, you know, LGBT stuff, LGBTQIA stuff. Man, that acronym's getting long. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's been quite an experience. Oh yeah, I'm one of those weird people that can't stand food that has like holes in it, you know, like I don't remember the word for that. There's a word for it. I'm going to look it up. Hold on. Sorry for the typing. I hope that's not annoying. Trypophobia. Yeah. It's Injera trypophobia? What? Hold on. Is that really what it's called? I thought injera was a type of bread. Huh. Trypophobia is an aversion to the sight of irregular patterns or small clusters, or clusters of small holes or bumps. It is not officially recognized as a mental disorder, but may be diagnosed as a specific phobia if excessive fear and distress occur. People may express only disgust to trypophobic imagery. Wow, I like how when you Google it, it just blasts you with a bunch of gross pictures of stuff like that. Thanks, Google. Appreciate that. Real sensitive there. Yeah, so I can't stand stuff like that, like honeycombs, or I think it's like lotus pods, and yeah, oh, gosh. Oops, shit. Oh, shit. Now I knocked myself over. Okay, that's good. Clumsiness. That's ADHD right there. Fucking clumsy. Actually, it's also an ASD thing. We can be super clumsy. I wanted to look up injera because, yeah, see, injera is freaking... It's bread. I've actually eaten Ethiopian food before. In fact, just recently, like, I want to say last year is the last time I got to. It's really freaking good, by the way. Ethiopian food is freaking delicious. And spicy. I like it. The one I had was spicy anyway. But the bread... Like, I had to actively not look at the bread and not think about what I was putting into my mouth because I can't. I can't stand the sight of that. I just can't. I hate it. It's gross. It's freaking gross. Do any of you have that problem? The trypophobia? Let me know, because I'm curious if anybody else has it. I feel like that's something that, like, I've only met 1 or 2 other people that say they have it. Yeah. So yeah, being autistic doesn't mean you don't know if you're gay or transgender. Being autistic, that's another thing. Like, I'm afraid coming out as autistic to people is going to make them treat me like a little kid or something, because, you know, they have their kind of idea of what that means, you know? Let me see here. I'm going to turn this thing off. Yeah, they have their own idea of what it means to be autistic, and, you know, they kind of infantilize people who have autism. And I'm afraid of being treated like that. I'm 33, I'm an adult, I've made it this far in life, without even realizing that I was autistic. Somehow even managed to have friends, which, honestly, that's really hard. It's been hard to have friends, because I suck at it. Like, I don't know how to people. Like, I try to do my best. I try to maintain friendships the best I can, but between the ADHD and the ASD, like, it's really hard. Because sometimes I offend people and I don't mean to. Sometimes I come off as not caring when I do care. I very much care. I have lots of emotions. They just don't always show. And now I know why. Same thing with pain, actually. When I'm in a lot of pain, doctors don't believe me and they think I just want drugs to get high off of. So like they don't they don't believe me, and it's just because I'm not like screaming like some people do. I didn't even make noise when I gave birth to my children. I didn't make any noises. So that was weird. In fact, after my I think it was my daughter. Yeah, after my daughter was born, like right after she came out, like the family, they were behind a curtain waiting. I guess they weren't allowed to watch or whatever. They were like, "Did it happen yet? Is the baby born?" Like they didn't even know. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't show emotion too much on my face, and sometimes I don't express it verbally well enough, and I think that makes it hard for people to be friends with me. I understand it. You know, people like compassion, they like reciprocal stuff like that. And like I said, I suck at carrying on conversations. They honestly stress me out a lot. Because, I'm anxious, I'm on my toes. Like, okay, I gotta make sure I'm talking to this person and that they don't feel like I'm ignoring them and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of stressful. Oh, I've heard that term was coined after viral videos of people clearing pores and whatnot. Ugh. Yeah, I don't like watching that stuff. Ugh. Yeah, I was just thinking of it. It's pretty gross. What? You are probably the most likable person I've met. Oh, thanks, Stacy. That's really nice. Yeah, I don't feel I don't feel like I am. Like a lot of people in the community alone have kind of made me feel like I'm a jerk. Like even my close friends, like I mean, you obviously like me, Stacy, so that's cool. I'm glad that I haven't made you hate me. But like other close friends of mine, like a friend of mine I was talking to today, actually, I make them upset pretty easily, and I don't mean to. Like, I'm a pretty literal person, and people always call me blunt too. That's the insensitive thing. They call me blunt. So like today, my friend was showing me something he made, and I thought he wanted me to just say my opinion of it. And so I said what I thought of it, and I didn't say I hated it or anything. In fact, I said it was better than this other thing that somebody else made. But I offended him, and I felt really bad. I still feel bad because I don't want to offend people. This is what I mean by I don't know how to talk to people. Like, I don't know. It seems like people don't always want you to tell the truth to them. They just want you to, like, I don't know, acknowledge them. Is that right? Like, do people just want acknowledgement more often than they really want you to say any opinion that you have? Because if that's the case, then I can do that. I can just acknowledge things without giving my opinion. That's okay. But yeah, I managed to offend him anyway. I won't explain how exactly, but I guess that offended him so much that he didn't really care that I also said that it was better than the other thing that somebody else made. So yeah, I still feel bad about that. So yeah, it's stuff like that that usually happens. Stacy said, I know what you mean, but I think it's a matter of finding the right circle. Yeah, and I like to keep my circle really small. Because it seems like there are so few people that I can communicate with without hurting them or offending them or something, effectively. Like, I think I can communicate with Stacy effectively enough. Most of the time I can communicate with the friend I was just talking to effectively enough. I mean, he seems to get me most of the time. I feel like sometimes I can really only talk to my cat, though, without, he's 100% success rate. I can usually not piss him off, but I guess every now and again he gets pissed. Probably they want confirmation bias. I think that's something most people look for, and it takes kind of thick skin to have constructive criticism. Yeah, and I'm good with criticism. So I find it hard sometimes to, to kind of understand when constructive criticism can be hurtful to people. I don't mean it to be hurtful. And I guess I just need to learn to be quiet and just acknowledge people's accomplishments instead of giving any opinions. But yeah, like, I like constructive criticism, actually. I find it to be very helpful. That's why, like, in the past, you know, if you've ever watched my other stuff, they'll leave comments saying, you know, I don't think you did that right, or I think you could have done this better, or you were kind of mean to those Jehovah's Witnesses, or whatever. You know, I would thank them for their comment and, you know, consider what they said. Whether or not I decided to actually apply that to my activism, that varied based on what they said. But yeah, I never got mad at them. The only comments I really didn't like were the ones where people were just like outright threatening me or telling me I was an asshole or something. That's not constructive to me. But still, you know, I leave all the comments up. Like, it's whatever. Everybody's got their own opinion. That's cool. Generally, that doesn't hurt my feelings. The stuff in the community that's hurt my feelings is like, you know, when people that were my friends don't stand up for me, I guess, when I'm being bullied or whatever. And, you know, I've kind of grown out of the feelings about that. Like, now I feel more like I can stand up for myself, or I can just ignore that crap. I don't need people to defend me anymore. And I understand why they may not have felt okay defending me, too. Like, self-preservation, you know, you don't want to become a target either. I get it. So, you know, I don't have any hard feelings about that. But yeah, like, I just don't know how to deal with, even with bullying. Like, I didn't know what to do about that. I thought that the correct course of action was to just ignore it and not give it any attention and all that, by not responding or anything, making videos about it, whatever. But that didn't seem to work with a specific person. Now, with another person who followed up later, I just couldn't take it because they started to say things that were, like, they were literally accusing me of really horrible crimes and stuff. And so I was like, all right, I can't do that. I have to, like, stand up for myself and set the record straight. Now, I might have gone about that in a way that not everybody agreed with, you know. And I took some damage for that. Whether it was deserved or not, I don't know. Still can't say. But, you know, again, it is what it is. I made my choice. I stood up for myself. And like I said, it didn't go super well, but the people who listened and, you know, kind of took my word, and actually, you know, went through and paid attention to what I put out, you know, it did help some people. It woke some people up to some stuff that was going on in the community, and hey, that's a win for me. Good. I'm glad that it helped. But yeah, I probably won't do something that drastic again. Because I just don't want to, you know, I don't want to disrupt things that much again. I felt like that was a lot. But yeah, I don't know how to people. I just don't. And I feel really bad because, like, sometimes people will reach out to me and they'll, you know, want to talk to me and share with me, and they're really nice people, and they're, you know, perfectly good friends even. And they deserve, I feel like they deserve a better friend than me. You know, somebody who can be there for them on a consistent basis, you know, and have a normal conversation with them without panicking or feeling stressed or whatever. And I hope that people watching this realize that I do love my friends very much. I care about them, and if a friend comes to me and they're having, like, a really serious issue, I drop everything to talk to them about that, or to be there for them. Seriously, I drop everything. I've even, like, I've literally skipped out on work before to be there for friends that were going through very serious things. So, like, I like I make exceptions, I guess, in my social awkwardness for that. But like, in general, if people want to have like small talk, I have a hard time with small talk. I don't really understand the purpose of small talk. Like, how's the weather, or that kind of stuff. Like, I can just pull out my phone and be like, well, the weather appears to be sunny or whatever right now. And I don't think that's what they mean when they ask me how the weather is. I think they're trying to initiate a more, I don't know, in-depth kind of conversation. But that's another thing. I don't know how to start conversations with people. And I also feel like I'm bothering people most of the time. So if I don't contact you, if you're a friend of mine watching this, and I don't like hit you up frequently, it's probably not that I don't want to. It's more that I literally don't want to bother you. And I feel like I don't have permission, or I shouldn't bother you unless unless I have something important to say to you. Or unless I have a good reason to talk to you. Like to congratulate you on something, or that I noticed something that you should be aware of, or something like that. Thanks, Jerky. How's the weather? I don't know, how's the weather over there? Is it still gross over there where you are? Actually, the weather over here has been pretty good. I like the weather over here. Weather Jesus has been good to us. He's been blessing us with cold weather. But yeah. So yeah, if I seem awkward, or if I seem rude, or if I seem like I'm actually terrified of having a conversation with you, it's probably the ASD. It's not because I'm trying to be an asshole, or I'm trying to escape. I do get kind of nervous sometimes and feel like running in some conversations, though. Man, it's easier for me to make friends in certain contexts. Like, a lot of the friends that I have in this community, I made through activism. Like, when we're doing activism together, when we have a goal or an activity to focus on, it's so much easier for me to talk to people and make friends. I don't know why. Or like when we're talking about a special interest of mine, I can go on forever and talk to people and relate to people through that. Same thing with parties and stuff. Like, it's so much easier for me to be at a party and function like a vaguely normal human being if there's like an activity to do. Like, if they have a game that they're playing. Excuse me. Like if they're all playing Cards Against Humanity or some crap like that. I can do that. In the past, alcohol has been helpful. Not trying to advocate for use of alcohol, because I don't drink anymore, but in the past, alcohol has actually been helpful in kind of dulling the social anxiety aspect of it, and it does make it easier to communicate with people a little bit. That's why I like to call it social lubricant, because it is. But yeah, like the newest friends that I had made most recently in my life were at karaoke, and I've talked about going to the pub doing karaoke a few times on this channel. And I made a lot of friends there, although I didn't seek any of these friends out. Like, when I first started going to the pub for karaoke, like the first night I went, it was because I wanted to have a drink and chill out. I think I was stressed about something. And then I was looking up places that were nearby where I was living, and I found that pub, and it turned out they had karaoke that night. And I was like, sold. Because I freaking love karaoke. Yeah, my socially anxious ass loves karaoke. I don't know if you could tell by all the stupid videos I upload of me singing like an idiot. So yeah, I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to karaoke. So I went. I had myself a, what was it? I don't remember what I had as a drink. I think it was a 151 and a diet back, because I'm freaking gay. and whiskey. So yeah, I had a drink. Immediately, I loved the place because the bartender, um, he's a really nice gay guy, and I just felt really welcome and at home there. Like nobody was being intrusive or bothering me or being too much on top of me. Like in most bars, it seems like the atmosphere is very, everybody's like crowded and on top of you, and um, everybody wants to talk to you because they're all drunk and stuff, and it's just weird. And I felt more comfortable there. Like it had a good amount of people there because apparently karaoke drew a really large crowd, but nobody was like crowding me or anything and being weird. And like I said, the bartender was super nice. He's like my favorite person. um, at the pub, he's my favorite person ever. Actually, all of them are. All of the bartenders there are great. So yeah, I went and I sat in a little corner by the karaoke booth. I was just like hiding in my little corner with my little drink, and I was waiting my turn. Actually, when I went up to the karaoke DJ to ask for my turn to sing, he was like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Ash." He was like, "Cash?" And I was like, No, Ash." And yeah, like, it was scary just to even ask him if I could sing a song. Singing the song was easy, though. Like, I love to sing. Singing's not a big deal. I went up there and I sang. And I got some applause and all that good stuff. People liked what they heard. And then I went back to my little corner and hid again. It wasn't until the second or third time that I was there for karaoke. The karaoke DJ came up to me in my little corner that I had seemed to, claim as my own. And he asked me, like, "Hey, I think you're a really cool person. Can I buy you a drink?" And I was like, "Oh no. He's talking to me. I hope he's, like, not doing anything weird." Because I don't know how people act at bars, okay? Like, I just know that bars are crowded and can be scary. I'm not a bar person, obviously. And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So he bought me a drink. He asked me what I like. I told him whiskey. And we drank a shot together. And then, that was pretty much it. He was like, "Yeah," he's like, "you're really cool and all that stuff. And you're really good at singing or whatever." And then he went back to his booth to do his thing. And I was like, "Oh, well, that was nice. A nice short interaction with a human." God, I sound like such an alien. But then, like, that same night, after I, sang a few times, this one girl came over to me, and she was like, "You're really good. I really like when you go up to sing. I love your voice," and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Oh, thanks." And then I just kind of, like, went back to doing what I was doing. She was like, "Hey, come sit over here with us." And she, like, kind of grabbed my stuff and helped me, like, go over there with her. And at that point, I was kind of, I guess, initiated and inducted into their group. And, I got to know everybody in that group, and eventually got to know even more people. Pretty much everybody at the pub I know now. And yeah, like, that pretty much became Cheers for me. And that was because somebody else initiated that. I never would have just gone up to somebody and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, because I don't talk to people like that. I'm too weird to do that. Because, like I said, I feel like I'm bothering people. And I don't want to interrupt people. And I don't even know when the right time is to go up to somebody. Like, is there a freaking right time to go up to somebody and be like, "Hey, what's up? My name's Ash. How are you?" I have no idea what I'm supposed to say to people. So, yeah, the only reason I have friends at the pub is because they chose me. Like, they wanted me, I guess. And I'm really grateful for that, because those are really great people. I think they're awesome, all of them. And they're all very different from each other, and that's been a really interesting experience getting to know them. Including the karaoke DJ, he's really cool too. So yeah, it's been a whole thing. That's what I'm talking about, though. Like, when there's an activity that we're all doing, and we're all in a very familiar space for me in a familiar situation, I can usually function a little better and usually socialize better. In fact, when I first started to get to know this couple there at the pub, I was telling the husband, like, oh yeah, I'm a really weird person, ha ha ha. And he was like, really? You don't seem weird to me. I haven't noticed anything. And I'm like, no, trust me, give it some time. And it's true, like I said earlier in this stream, the more comfortable I get with people over time, the more myself that I tend to act around them. You know, the more the autism comes out. So yeah, I mean, I guess I must have been masking pretty damn well at the pub for a while. And that's the other thing, masking gets exhausting. That's why I can only handle like a certain small chunk of socialization. Like, I can only handle maybe an hour or 2 or even 3. In the case of the pub, I can handle a lot more time, like 4 or 5 hours. But like in other situations, like if it's a party, I'll usually only stick around for like an hour, maybe 2 if I'm stretching it. And that's about as much as I can handle. That's why I'm kind of scared to go to a protest, like where I don't really know people, because I think that I would probably panic and run away, or have to go like hide in the bathroom or something for a little bit, because it's so much. Stacy said, I guess it's much easier to make friends with others if you have others with you at the time, hence the group of people inviting you over to their group. I would be very shy in that situation too. That's really awesome you put yourself out there in a position to meet others in a new community. And that's the funny thing is, I really wasn't trying to put myself out there to meet people. I was only going there to do karaoke and maybe have a drink, like to blow off some steam, because I love karaoke. Oh my god, I love it. Like, that's my Kingdom Hall. Not to be gross and say Kingdom Hall, but that's what it became for me. Because I was like, oh man, I finally found a place I can do karaoke on a regular basis, and the people don't suck. This is great. And they're cool with me being trans, and they don't treat me like a weirdo, and they don't think I'm a weirdo. So it was nice. Like I said, I felt really at home there. So it did kind of become my Kingdom Hall, because I was there once a week. And eventually I even graduated into following the karaoke DJ around to a couple of other places that he went when I needed an extra dose of karaoke that week if I was particularly stressed. But yeah, karaoke was my therapy for a while. Like, I just freaking loved it. So yeah, I was really going for the karaoke. Not that I don't like the people. I mean, that turned out to be a wonderful bonus. So, you're giving me a little too much credit saying that I put myself out there to meet people. But the thing is, I was receptive to meeting people. You know, I didn't go, no, that's okay, I'm going to stay here in my corner. You know, I felt like it would have been much weirder, and I would have come off as an asshole if I had been like, no, that's okay, I'll just stay over here. But yeah, eventually, like I said, I got to know the whole pub, and I even got to a point where, you know, I was dancing and and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, I apparently even got up on one of the couches and was doing one of my songs. I think I was doing what was I doing? War Pigs. I was singing War Pigs. I think I was dissociating when I did that, though, because I don't remember it, and I wasn't like super drunk or anything. But yeah, I was up on the couch in the bar, like standing up and like doing War Pigs and going all crazy like I'm a rock star or something. So yeah, I mean, like, I like places where everything's familiar and where there's an activity to focus on, because I feel like if there's something to focus on, it's easier to communicate, because like the people aren't focused on each other, and there's not as much pressure to like be entertaining or something, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I've met people through activism. That's where a lot of my friends come from in the community, through activism. And then my karaoke friends, you know, I've met them through karaoke. And that's funny because like it's actually kind of hard for me to do stuff with them outside of the karaoke setting. I've been invited to like dinners and stuff, or some of them wanted to go, gosh, where did they want to go? Oh yeah, they wanted to go out to eat someplace, and there was supposed to be karaoke there. It was kind of, I think the karaoke ended up getting canceled though. So yeah, being in unfamiliar situations, even when I have the familiar people, it turns out to be just as stressful as a whole brand new situation with new people. So I kind of just like to stick to just, hanging out with them when I do the activity. And I know that sounds bad because it's like, it sounds like they're just my karaoke friends and they're only for karaoke and I don't like them otherwise, but that's not true. I love my friends, like I said. But I do have a little bit of a harder time socializing with them outside of that situation. With the friend I was just talking about earlier, he was wanting to come and visit, and I was a little nervous because like I keep thinking, what are we gonna do when he's here? Like, I'm a boring person in real life. I'm not gonna be any fun. What we usually do is we listen to music when we talk on the phone. Phones, by the way, I don't really like phones, but when I am comfortable with a person, it's easier for me to talk on the phone. Same thing with video chat. I have a hard time with that. But if I'm comfortable with the person, it's easier. But yeah, we usually just listen to music, and send each other memes and crap back and forth. So I was like thinking to myself, what the hell are we going to do when he's here? He's going to be bored off his ass. Like, and he's more of an outgoing, like, I like to do things and go places kind of person. So I'm just like internally freaking out, like, oh shit, I have to be entertaining. But I don't think he cares so much. I think he's probably more open to just chilling out than I think he is. I think he's like, stop stressing out so much, Ash, Jesus. We're just gonna chill. It's okay. So I think we'll probably just end up lighting some shit on fire in the pit behind my little crap shack here, and we're probably just gonna listen to music, and I don't know, maybe I'll have a drink. We'll see. Like I said, I haven't drank in months. It's been a bit, and I've been happier without it, honestly. And maybe he can convince me to go out in public and do something. Like, actually, I would love to drag him to karaoke. I'm not sure if he would even be into that, but I mean, because he's a talented musician, and I know he can sing, but I don't know if he would like to go to karaoke, especially not with all of my people. I don't know if he would like that. Do some art. Oh yeah, that would be fun. I don't know if he's into art. But we could try. That would be fun. I know that I wanted to do some art with you when you were visiting me, Stacy. We didn't really get around to it though. We were so focused on prepping for the memorial, and like, we were like exhausted. We barely got to do anything fun because of how stressful and exhausting the memorial was. Like, we were burnt out. Like, when we got back home from the memorial, I think we had originally planned on like going out to a bar or something afterward, but we were just like dead. So I think we just came home and crashed. Because like 2 memorials was like a fuck ton. Plus I kind of already I drank at the first memorial. But it's okay. I still had fun when you were here. I wasn't stressed out when you were here, but when you were here, by the way, like, that didn't stress me out. Because I was already really comfortable with you. Oh yeah, making the stickers was hilarious. I loved making those stickers. Man, I still have some of those stickers. The ones where we cut out all of the stuff from, like, I think it was the What Does the Bible Really Teach book. That was freaking hilarious. I couldn't believe you didn't sleep, though. Yeah, I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep after the memorial. I stayed up all night clipping my video together so I could put it out. And then I think we did a live stream right before you left. I don't even know if I slept after you left. I think it took until like the next night. That was a lot. Holy crap. I can sleep these days. I'm better at sleeping. Anyway, shit. But yeah, I don't know. I think we'll still have a good time, you know, if he still decides to come. I overthink crap like this. I'm always worried about making people bored. Oops, hold on. There we go. I fell asleep and woke up and saw you still going full force on posters and shit. Yep. That's me. That's, I want to say that's like half autism and half ADHD. It's because, like, autism, you have, like, your special interests where you're like just freaking obsessed with it, and then there's, like, the ADHD where you hyper-focus and you're like, I have to do this thing now, and I'm not going to stop until I burn out or I'm finished with it. Oh, hey, I don't know if you saw this earlier, Stacy, but you should totally try this. Oop, I don't know if you can even see it with all this damn light. Where is it? Yeah. This shit is divine. Dr. Pepper cream soda, oh my god. There has never been a more epic, legendary duo in all of time. Anyway, good night, Stacy. Have fun blasting all the germs and stuff. Man, this must be really scary to do her job at this in this particular time. Ooh. It was good to see you too, by the way. Ugh. Also, yeah, ADHD means that you have 2 drinks at once. I always do this, though. I always have a water and some kind of caffeinated thing or sugary thing. Like, I even have juice boxes. Like, I'm not even kidding. I drink juice boxes. Ugh. Yeah, so this is why I was afraid of doing live streams. It's because, like, when I try to talk about a serious subject on a live stream, I end up blabbing forever. Like, I think I've been on here for, like, how long has it been? Shit. Let me check. I don't even freaking know. How long has it been on? Bless. I've been on here since 9 freaking almost, no, I've been on here since like almost 10 o'clock, so like an hour and a half, almost. Shit. Oh, fuck. Well, I didn't mean to talk that long, but yeah. I hope this... Sorry. I'm Mexican, so I have to. I hope this helps somebody. If not, I hope it at least sheds some light on some stuff, because like the whole point of this was that autism and the LGBT stuff, LGBTQIA, whatever you want to call it, plus that stuff intersects. People with autism, since they don't really care to, you know, stick to the societal norms and crap, because they're more about what's comfortable and what's right to them. You know, they tend to, it seems like they tend to be more frequently LGBTQIA plus. It happens. Oops, shit. And that's definitely the case for my gay ass. Look at me. Look at my flamboyant ass. Oh, man, I should get on here and do more live streams. I forgot that it can be pretty fun. Because this is actually a really comfortable way for me to talk to people. Like, video chatting is uncomfortable because the person is looking at me, like, and I can see them looking at me, and that makes me really nervous. Chatting one-on-one with people makes me nervous. Unless, like I said, unless I know the person pretty well. But even sometimes then. And yeah, like Stacy said, I love my low-maintenance friendships. They're really great. Bless you all who understand and who still stick excuse me, who still stick by me and still accept me, even though I might not, be there very frequently and I don't chat you up like every day. I'm still there for you if you need me. I will be. Just hit me up. But yeah, I hope this shed a little light, because yeah, it intersects. If you have ASD, you probably also have the gay. Oh, yeah, since we're here, I might actually just end this stream and start a separate stream for this, because I want to talk about something else. It's not autism related, it's activism related. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end this stream real quick and go take a restroom break, and then I'm going to come back and talk about some more crap. But, happy coming out day. If you're not out yet, I hope you feel comfortable enough to do so someday. When you're ready, when it's safe. If it's not safe yet, don't do it. Look out for yourself. I hope it will be safe for you one day. To all the people that are loving and accepting, not just of me, but other people, thank you. Thank you for being an awesome human being. To people that have yet to be accepting, well, I hope that interacting with people like me and, learning stuff like this will help you to eventually be accepting. And yeah, if somebody wants to come out to you, that's a big deal. They feel safe with you, so that's freaking awesome. That means you're a really great ally. Probably, unless you're like somebody they're coming out to who they're like terrified to come out to. Like if you've got mean parents and you're trying to come out to them, parents who are definitely against you being part of the LGBTQIA plus community. Yeah. But usually if somebody wants to come out to you, it usually means that you're probably somebody they feel safe with. But honestly, if they feel safe with you, you probably already know, and they probably never tried to hide it from you or anything in the first place. Like, there's a lot of people that I used to, or that I'm friends with, that, it was just kind of understood, like, that I was not straight and that I was not cis. Like, it was just understood. We just, I would say things that would be like, that would indicate it. I'd basically live my life like I was already out, and they got it. And I didn't have to come out to them. I kind of hope that we end up in a world one day where we don't have to do this kind of crap, where we don't have to come out with things, and where people just feel comfortable living life the way they are, without having to announce it or clarify things. I hope we live in a world someday where people don't make assumptions about how people are and who they are. I hope it's safe someday for everybody to be who they are and live how they want to. Yeah. I think that's all I got for this stream. I'm Ash. I have ASD. I have ADHD. I have PTSD. I don't have a D, but hey, whatever. I got all those other D's, so I'm good. Sorry, I had to make a crude joke. But yeah, that's about it, folks. I'll be back for another stream because like I said, I got more shit to say, but it has nothing to do with this. So yeah, be safe. Take care of yourselves and each other. Be kind to each other. And, just love, man. Love. Alright. If you don't want to stay tuned for the next stream, I totally understand. It's freaking late. And it's like Sunday night. Probably Monday in some places already. But I hope you do join me, because I have some serious shit to talk about. Trigger warning. And I'm going to put one on the thing, but trigger warning. Yeah. Bye, and happy coming out day, and all the gayness. Woo. Alright, bye. Done being an idiot. Bye.